Alhamdulillah wa salatu salamu ala rasulillah. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed me. I went on a trip to Mecca and Medina, to the blessed lands, and I got some new books. These two stacks you see here are all new books we got from this trip. People always ask me, like, where's the best place online to buy books and things. And to be honest with you, I don't like online book buying. I like to go to the stores and check out the books and check out the prints and really kind of hold them and go through them and then walk around a bookstore and look at what else they have. And so, you know, that's really an experience I love. And to me, it's much more economically feasible to buy more books as well, because like when I was there, alhamdulillah, I went to the different bookstores. These are just some of the books I brought back, and I just brought them back in my bags, handbags and all that, because why am I going to bring back like sajadas and tasbeehs and all that? Make dhikr on your hands. Don't worry about those things. Instead, I'll bring these back, give people books, and for myself as well. A lot cheaper to buy them that way. You don't have to worry about shipping and getting lost in the mail and all that kind of stuff. That's what I like to do. So these are some books I bought, and inshallah, we're going to be unboxing, quote unquote, because I already unboxed them, couldn't wait. We're going to be looking at 2 sets of these white books. I call them white books, kind of cool. But before we do that, I just want to share again, none of these publishing houses, nobody pays me for any of this. This is all things that I find beneficial and want to share. One of the things I found really cool was this little thing. There's some brothers I met there, good brothers, mashallah. And again, they didn't ask me to do any kind of advertising for them, but I like bukhoor, like the one that makes the nice smell. And usually the ones I have, you know, you get a coal and you light it up and you put it in and you put the bukhoor and it has a nice smell, but you're kind of worried like your kids are going to put their hands and burn it, or it's going to fall over and burn down your house. So these brothers made this one. It's charged with a USB-C cord, and you turn it on, and they have one for the car too, which I also got. It's really cool. And it turns on and it'll light up, but alhamdulillah, you see the smoke starts, but even if you put your hand on it, it's not going to burn you, right? Even if it tilts and falls, it doesn't burn the house down. So it's kind of cool. I mean, I liked it. Once again, not a paid advertisement or anything, but it's kind of cool, so I thought I'd share it. All right, so now to the books, inshallah. The 2 sets we're going to look at. Once again, when I first saw these, I kind of wasn't a fan. I was like, it's too bright and white, but I spoke to some of the brothers who worked on the project and some professors and so on. And the point of this print, and this is a maktaba called Sharika al-Ithra al-Mutun. The point of this print is to be as practical as possible. It's not supposed to just look good and so on. It's really supposed to be practical, and that's why they made it just bright white. But they did do some things that are very beneficial. The 2 we're going to look at is Rawd al-Murbi'. This is the Sharh of Zad al-Mustaqni'. Zad al-Mustaqni', the matan that I teach on Wednesdays by Al-Hajjawi. And Rawd al-Murbi' is the Sharh by al-Buyuti, Imam Mansur al-Buyuti. Classic Hanbali fiqh, one of the standards used around the world. Amazing book. So this is, they have printed this in 4 volumes. And this is Rawdatun Nadir wa Junnatul Munadir of the famous Muwaffaquddin ibn Qudama, Abu Muhammad Muwaffaquddin ibn Qudama al-Maqdisi, the great scholar. And this is their amazing books. I have this already, and I have this as well. I mean, I have many different prints of Rawd al-Murbi'. Rawd al-Murbi', I have it with the Hashia of Ibn al-Qasim. I have the Mukhtasar of the Hashiyat of Dr. Al-Eid, Sultan Al-Eid. I also have the Taliq of Sheikh Ibn Uthman and other shuruh, alhamdulillah, Rawd al-Murbi'. But I found this to be beneficial, and I'll explain why. Rawdat al-Nadir of Muwaffaquddin ibn Qudama is Usul al-Fiqh. This here is Fiqh, and this is Usul al-Fiqh. So these 2 together, really good for students of knowledge. Tayyib, why do I now like this print, even though when I first saw it, I didn't like it? Because when I started to go through it, I found some really beneficial things they've done. First off, you can tell they have left a lot of notes, a lot of room for notes. And I always like to take a lot of notes. So they have entire pages sometimes, even if there's not an entire page, a lot of empty space for you to take your notes. Other thing, very beneficial. You see these little kind of side points. They kind of tell you what you're looking at, which hukam, which usul you're supposed to be looking at. So kind of when you read a lot and you start getting lost, you kind of look at the side notes. It really is beneficial. Beautiful print, very clear. This is not on the yellow paper. It's not nice binding, but it's not meant for that. This is for you to be very practically taking your notes in. What they did do For example, in some of them, we'll talk about here, when they put the ayat in one color. Here, what they did, they put the amthal and things in green, and the usul in a bright or a dark reddish burgundy color. Then the matan in black, and then they did a really good job of giving you a good hashia underneath, in the sense of some explanatory notes, not a lot of detail, but like here, for example, you'll see a lot of place to write your notes, which I really found beneficial. But if there is a hadith, they give you, and if there is a riwayah, another riwayah, or a different something here, they'll give it to you in the hashia. If there is a hadith, they'll give you the takhrij of the hadith to a good level. I mean, to a level where it is beneficial. Here's a good example, right? Now, this is all the checking of the ahadith that are mentioned. So, a solid print. The colors are nice. The side points. Now, one of the very beneficial things. You see, they put things in bullet points, right? So it's not just the text, a paragraph to paragraph. The bullet points, the additional notes, make it to be a very easy to follow book for tullab ilm, for the student of knowledge. So I found it to be very beneficial. When they have a hadith and stuff, they'll give it in a different color. They'll give the takhrij of it. They'll give the checking of it. They'll have little points like here, قال المؤلف الإقناع, and then the author of al-Iqna' said this. Kind of give you the different opinions within the madhab. Very light, but beneficial for the student of knowledge. So this Rawdatul Nadir, Junnatul Munadir of Abu Muhammad Muwaffaquddin ibn Qudama al-Maqdisi al-Hanbali, beneficial work, definitely worth the buy. Get this to benefit you. Tayyib. On the other hand, now that's usul al-fiqh. This is fiqh itself. This is Rawdul Murbi' بشرح زاد المستقنع. زاد المستقنع by al-Hajjawi, Musa al-Hajjawi, and Rawdul Murbi' by Mansur al-Biyuti. Classic, wonderful, necessary work. Get it? Now, what they did. Once again, same sharika, same company, which is Ithra al-Mutun. Same thing, you see. They give you the bullet points on the side that shows you what subject, what hukam, what mas'ala you're in, beneficial. You see the checking on the bottom. You see the multiple colors. So what they did in this print, where they have a hadith, they give it in green, right? When they have the matan itself, they will give it in a dark blue over here, and then the sharh will be in the regular black print. And on top of that, you will see anything that is to be highlighted from the usul, they will give it in a dark blue here. Once again, excellent hashia underneath, checking of the hadith. Light. This is not a book of takhrij, but light checking if the hadith are presented. If there is another qawl in the madhab, for example, they will give it here as well. And, beneficial work, lots of room for notes. On the side, you will find lots of room for notes. So these are very practical prints. Look at this. See, they give it you the mas'ala, what is going on, and the side note, room for your notes, and then bullet pointed, right? Very easy to follow. When I first saw it in a bookstore, and I spent a lot of time just kind of going through it, looking at it, I really thought it to be practical, right? And this time, alhamdulillah, I bought these two, and I highly suggest for those that are students of knowledge that want to get a print, Sharika Ithra al-Mutun, good print, Rawd Murbi', Rawdatul Nadir. Get these two together, and as you go, like for example, our dars that's going on in Zad al-Mustaqni', use this with it, so you can take your notes with it. And then, if you can get somebody to teach you Rawdatul Nadir of Muwaffaquddin ibn Qudama, balance them out together. They work well together. Good prints, good buys. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those who benefit from these books and use them to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the correct way. Wa jazakumullahu khairan.